Right. So I was planning on doing some hydromancy reading, but I thought I would do this tarot again. Just fine. Look at this, basically the same message. Okay. I don't know if that's for anyone, but let's see what I didn't set the intent here. You know, it's what again? This is for okay. I have to do that again. Fourth. This is again for Cancer. Okay. It's a big theme right now. So let's see what we get here. And also what has it soon? 10th house, so career. Often it's said is career, but it's also vocation, your mission, how people see you and assess you. It's also your parents, that is a financial thing, like or the financial giver, the breadwinner of the parents. Whoever your parental figure is, it could be whatever. It could be two people, it could be three, it could be one. Doesn't matter. Someone who is financially giving to you, or who has been as well, but it's tied to your current life as well. It's opposite of the fourth house, which actually is ruled by Cancer. So, what else is there? It's also your ego, meaning how people also assess you and how you kind of do things, how you accomplish things based on what the world thinks of you. So, how you set yourself up for what the world thinks of you rather than your own. So, it's usually typically square. It's in challenging, it's challenging to the self as well. So, that's what's ego. It is also your parents' relationships, so people that they get into. It's also your partner's parents, your in-laws, right? So, let's see. Okay, let's try this. Okay, those came out right away. Let's see what we get. I get a theme here. Oh, okay. So it's showing me here the okay. All of these are upside down. That's interesting. Okay, so Ace of Swords. I'm getting Ace of Swords here. Pardon that zooming thing there. Ace of Swords. So I feel like there's an inner flame that wants to come out. It's kind of growing its roots. Um, Something about developing yourself, being more towards something that you actually want to do. I feel like it's, but I feel like there's a sort of a thing that you have to pierce within yourself. There's something that you have to open up. There's something that is growing within there, but it feels like you're stabilizing it and you're going, "Poosh," and then it's kind of just growing. I'm getting this image of like you are standing your ground, but it's almost like you're going back to your roots in a way and actually growing and actually going like it'll grow and it'll be kind of like I'm getting that image of King Arthur and the sword, right? Remember that movie, the Disney movie, King Arthur or something like that? It's kind of like that. And there's some things that you're kind of blocking your path, though. I feel like there's something there. But at the same time, this is more of an internal process. Any sort of thoughts that you have, any sort of um, inspirational thoughts you have, ideas you have, is sort of like maybe you're sticking your ground when you're standing your ground when it comes to your mindset. There's also the nine of swords here as well. Again, this one's more like because this is typically about things that there's just too much. This one's more like emotional overload that are because there's too much thought that's processed in there. Maybe your Mercury is in Gemini, or usually it's very close to that sign where there's a lot of overthinking, multitasking. a lot of things that are kind of just, and it feels kind of overwhelming to the emotions of the one that you have, especially if you have, let's say, your moon in Cancer, or if your Cancer, your moon sign is in a water sign or a fire sign, it's not freeing for you to be in that direction. Also, if your sun is in a very active house, one of the fire and air houses, the third, the fifth, the seventh, the ninth, the 11th. Those are usually just the case for you. So I'm tying this again to astrology for those who don't know. Doing it astrologically as well. But it depends on where you are. We don't know who this is going to apply to, but we'll see. There's also the hangman here, the hangman. But I feel like this one's like, because it's upside down, you don't feel like you are stuck. You're actually kind of like almost like you're swinging towards something that is more like not stuck, but it feels like it's getting there. I feel like it's something to do with the emotional process that you've gone through already. Maybe you've gone through some sort of healing already. I'm getting that feeling. Okay, let's see what else we can do. I feel like there's some other card ones that come out. Trajectory. I'm hearing the word trajectory. Okay. You're in a sort of trajectory part of your life. Um, hmm, maybe it's stubborn. I want to come out. Okay. There's something here. I feel like they want me to go into my Oracle deck here. Oracle of Souls. So let's see what we get here. See if this resonates at all with you. I did not shuffle this deck, so we'll see what we get. I was planning to make this a tarot thing, but no. This is a card reading itself. So I feel like there's that sort of feeling like it's not coming out. There's no message that needs to come out yet, but oh, okay. Huh. So this one might feel overwhelming because I'm getting several cards here. I'm getting 5 cards here. The first card that came up was Hathor, Mistress of Harmony. So here you are going through this process of communication, going back to yourself. Okay, again, there's that tying to culture here as your culture, but I feel like you are kind of going back to your roots and really communicating with that and kind of being in charge of your own path instead of the path that you were in before through your ancestors. And then we also have Anubis here, neutrality, preservation, obligation. So a sense of like duty to your own self, your own being, your own sort of, I guess you could say your own ancestry. It's almost like you're creating your own roots, if that makes sense. Especially with Cancer. Um, being more neutral. If you are at this phase in your life, you must have already gone through the emotional stuff you've gone through, and you're probably, maybe your sun is already progressed into Virgo, which is a little bit more neutral. Otherwise, it's also then in Libra, which means that you're probably past the age of like you're in your 90s or something like that, 80s or 90s. I don't know. Or maybe it's for someone like that. But neutrality is sort of like preservation, obligation. Makes sense for the preservation with the Cancer, likes to preserve things, conserve things. So, um, okay, so I might have to do this where I'm recording this and I'm going to post this differently. Okay, so there wasn't enough recording for this one. That's fine. I'm going to keep going. So there's Anubis there. And then I also have Hades here, the Lord of Riches. So equanimity, wisdom. Again, there's some sort of like riches coming through and they're sort of processing. He's saying, showing here the apple that is tied to Eris, which is like about shifting the belief of power into something much higher in terms of what it is that I want. Why is it that I want power? What is it that I actually wish to do with that power? Am I going to actually look for power? Am I actually going to let it go? Am I just going to laugh at the concept of power? This is very ears because it's a golden apple tied to Hades. but Hades is a lower vibration, or rather Pluto is a lower vibration of yours. So Lord of the Riches is like looking for the riches within yourself. So I feel like again it's something to do with equanimity, something to do with the balance thing. Eris is tied to this. Um, Neutrality earlier. Again, there's sort of this thing that you're shifting through that going when you're saying when things has been gone through so much, like you've gone through things mentally that's just too much. Now it's more like let me balance this out and say, okay, maybe I need to let go of those thoughts and beliefs that you have because it can tie into the subconscious sort of tendencies of Cancer, going into the emotion, going deep into the emotion, going back to yourself again. We also have here Banth. Oh, I've never seen this before. Caretaker of the lost. Respite, assistance, memory. Again, going back to the past, going back into I'm seeing the triangle here, going back to your again, it's almost like a triplicity I'm seeing here. Usually there's a flow here. Astrologically speaking, just kind of a triangle usually refers to like a grand trine, but it also means that there's some sort of shift happening. The triangle in math is usually referred to the shape of the shifting of changes. So again, you're going through some sort of shift and you're kind of saying to yourself or saying to yourself that kind of overthinks things that gets, okay, stop with the overthinking. I'm going to let you go and you're just going to float and I'm just going to be like, okay, that's what it is. I'm not going to be attached to that one. Okay. And then we have the ages. Again, never seen this before. The light and the darkness, healing, graciousness, acceptance. So you're going through this process of gentleness within yourself, almost like a really kind maiden matron sort of feel to that energy where it's just like you're going like to this card. I don't know if you could see it, but it's like you're going to yourself, you're going to the light within. There's something about um it's almost like even though it feels kind of like it's deserted, you feel kind of deserted, especially with the energy of Cancer. It like doesn't like to be left out, doesn't like to be it's sort of like Libra in a way, but in this case doesn't like to be sort of like without family or security. It's going towards that whole I am in the desert, it feels dry. Oh shit, there's no water, but I have that inner water, if that makes sense. Um, as long as I listen to the heart, I'm seeing here the sun image here, the light within. It's almost like you're paving the path for yourself with that light, being kind of your own shepherd, listening to the messages or the sounds within them, hearing the crooked, the shepherd's crook here, sort of like with bells. Um, Again, it feels like there's a mystery about this whole process, and you're going through this process of actually building yourself up from ground up, and kind of almost starting over, where it's like the emotions have now made sense when it used to not make sense before. So, anyways, I know that I could go longer, but all I'm going to do is I'm going to share the image here. Um, or maybe I'm not going to do it. No, that's fine. But the messages are there. So I think that's about it. Um, be mindful of the challenges I'm hearing. Mm. Don't be so caught up with what the emotional ties. There's something about emotional ties, especially with Cancer. It's a little bit, especially with Cancer, if this is about pertaining to your 10th house, this is a sense of security as well. Let go of the challenges. See the challenges and not necessarily be consumed by the challenges. That's what I'm hearing. So I hope that helps. Is there anything else? Shut your thoughts. And that's it. No, okay. I feel what they're saying. They're saying that it's like your thoughts are not your own. They're just energy. So, but remember, it's not necessarily like me giving you advice or anything like that. It's not about that. It's just more like you'll know what you do when you go deep within yourself. Okay. I think that's about it. Okay, just keep moving, flowing. Let those emotional experiences be your guide. They will give you messages, but don't let them consume you. Okay, that's it. Okay, well, thank you very much for your time. I'll see you guys later. Have a good day.